All right, we're looking at the NCAA tournament field, 68er set. What are some of the interesting matchups that you're looking at throughout in the regions?
I think there's going to be 4 games that are really going to impact just who ultimately gets to the Final Four. And interestingly, there's one in each region. One game in the South, I think Virginia and Arizona are going to meet in the Sweet 16. Virginia is the #1 seed, Arizona is the #4, and that's a huge game. Both of those teams are probably among the top 4 or 5 teams in the country that people anticipate could win a national championship, and then to play each other that early.
Offense versus defense too, yeah.
Yeah, offense versus defense, size versus height versus might. There's a lot of things that you could go with. So that's going to be one game. I think another one is Michigan and North Carolina. That's also a Sweet 16 game. That's in the West. Michigan's playing really well. North Carolina's defending national champions. So I think that kind of speaks for itself. The other 2 games are actually second-round games. In the East, Alabama can get Villanova in the second round. Alabama's really playing well and has been. They've kind of been hot and cold off and on throughout the year, but when they play well, they are a really good team. And I'm not sure that Villanova wants to see a team like that early in the tournament. Particularly another thing, Villanova's had some nagging injury issues. They're not real deep. Some of those things can all of a sudden start showing up in a tournament setting. And Alabama's the kind of team that can expose that. So I think that's one game. And then the final game, Oklahoma and Duke as a second round matchup. Of course, that's saying Oklahoma gets there, which the way they've been playing is really suspect, for them. I mean, the other conversation is why they're even in the tournament. But they are there. And if they show up as they did earlier in the season, that's a handful for Duke in the second round.
Right.
So that's a game, that could really impact brackets and really impact, particularly if Oklahoma could win. So I think those are 4 games that I think people should really kind of keep an eye on.
Okay. Well, speaking of impacting brackets, do you have a look ahead, a forecast to your Final Four?
Yeah, I got 3 solidly in. I got Arizona, I think is going to get there. Michigan, I think is going to get there. Michigan State's going to get there. I'm hung up in the East, still in the Sweet 16 area, because I can't quite figure out what I'm going to do with Alabama and Villanova, for example, in that region. But I think, for the reasons we talked about earlier with Villanova, somewhere along the line, their issues are going to show up. And so I think what's ultimately going to come out of there right now is Texas Tech. And they're a 3rd seed. So they would be my 4th team in the Final Four.